Recording now.
Yep, good to go.
Hello. Yep. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this TuneKind FPS. I am Inky, and today I'll be playing M1-A, the little UFO. And with me is my good friend.
Hi, I'm Kai, and I'm going to be playing Charlie, who is normally a very energetic and excitable con man, but at the moment he's more kind of sad, but still excitable because he's looking for distractions, con man.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, Charlie's been having a rough time, I'd say.
yeah, he's at least been persuaded out of the terrible, no good, very bad idea that he had before. So he's not going to go running off and trying to join the Jester to infiltrate the Yakuza and all of that.
Yeah, that would be...
Yeah, he's at least been persuaded out of it for now. It's not off the table entirely.
Yeah. Now I have to ask, what is Charlie doing right now?
I think at the moment, when he's a little bit worked up or unsure what to do, he tends to just go on walks here, there, and everywhere, wandering the entirety of Toontown, and looking for things that he can do to basically just jump in, do an activity, cause a bit of chaos, have fun, and then continue onwards, and generally he's feeling better by the end of it.
Yeah.
So, walking around randomly.
Yeah. What time is it, do you think? Is it like a daytime thing or a nighttime thing? What do you think?
I'm gonna say it's probably pretty late at night, and yeah, this is Charlie. Tried to sleep, could not. Just it's something like 2 a.m.
Yeah, wow, okay. Now, Charlie, you are walking around, you're heading down the street. And you hear actually no, this is a game. Roll a perception check. You gotta roll very high.
We have dice.
We have dice, we have to use them.
Okay, I've got a +4, that's not too bad. That's a nat 20.
A nat 20. Okay, what do I give you for? You definitely hear the creak of a garbage can, and then a frustrated "ha!" and then a slam and a clatter. And then you hear the same thing a couple of moments later, and you hear the shifting of a garbage can, and then just another loud slam of a garbage can being replaced. And you can hear it quite clearly to the alley to your left.
That's definitely worth investigating. Just because, like, odd noises, odd small noise. Who the fuck is clattering around in garbage cans at 2 a.m? Admittedly, it could just be a stray cat, and we are not going to ask questions about, the difference between Charlie, a cat, and a stray cat.
You.
I do think Charlie is probably gonna pull one of his knives to hand and just kind of have it tucked up his sleeve, as just in case he needs a weapon ready. But yeah, he'll just kind of start creeping down the alleyway and seeing what else he can spot, if anything.
I'm going to. You see. In the darkness, and you can see it pretty clearly because they're not trying to hide. Two bright glowing yellow eyes, kind of just narrowed in anger, and they have tipped over a garbage can, and they are searching, and they're digging through another one, and they make another frustrated and then they just slam the garbage can over, letting everything spill out, and they just whack at it.
Very important question, especially considering my nat 20 on perception there. Are these eyes that I may perhaps recognize at all?
I absolutely think you do recognize them. carrying on that nat 20, I think you do recognize who
Yeah.
this is.
I think, yeah, seeing that, Charlie's good, like, yeah, just tuck the knife away. He doesn't really need it. Stands up straight and go like, so, flying saucer, how you going? Haven't seen you in a while.
Hang on, M1-A is going to react to this by spinning around and immediately whipping out their pistol. Well, their blaster.
Whoa. This is just me. Hey, it's okay. No weapons, please. Don't shoot me.
And M1-A kind of goes like, it's like state business. And they lower their weapon and say, Charlie redacted.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, it's good to see you too, kid.
They slowly put away their blaster and they look around themselves and kind of make an insight check.
Yeah. Okay. That's a dirty 20 this time.
Oh wow. reading this tiny UFO straight up.
Yeah, pretty much.
They have quickly retreated into their UFO mode. They were in their arms mode earlier, and they look very sheepish. They look very self-conscious about what just happened.
Oh no.
They are looking around, and then they quickly like push up one of the garbage cans, and I'm gonna try and roll a strength check to see if they actually do it.
Oh no.
Let's see, strength. What's my strength?
It's an 8.
That's an 8. So it just kind of like they try, and then it just, because they're not in their arms mode, they were kind of nudging it in their UFO form. It just kind of like rolls off them and just like rolls away his little way. And then they kind of turn around and they kind of hover, they head closer to approach Charlie, and they say, "It is broken."
Oh, come on now, Frisbee. Like, that's no problem. Like, it's just a couple of bends. No one really take any notice. And Charlie will head over to, like, pick some of them up to actually set them up right again, because no point getting in trouble for making a mess here.
Yeah. M1-A looks at Charlie and says, "Query, Frisbee?"
Oh, yeah, you. It's because you kind of look like one.
And M1-A,
wait,
kind of coming off of their cranky mood, they.
I was gonna say, was like, Charlie just goes like, "Oh wait, 1 sec." Digs into his hammer space, so like an inside pocket of his jacket, and pulls out a Frisbee and just gently lobs it towards M1-A, and just so it can go bonk.
Oh my god. M1-A like is startled by this and looks down at the Frisbee that's kind of I guess not clattering, but like doing that kind of like rotating until it goes flat on the ground kind of thing. And they actually get a little bit fired up, and they say, my title is not Frisbee. It is M1-A Sentry Class.
All right, M1-A. If you M1-A Sentry Class, if that's what you want me to call you, I'll call you that. But like, I use nicknames for all my friends.
And they simmer down a little bit, and they say, "Query, nickname?"
Like you do see Charlie just kind of fucking blue screening for a second there.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's just like, a name? that you give to people that isn't their actual name, but they're okay with you calling them that.
M1-A slowly nods, and they say, and well, what do they say to that? They say, observation, not polite.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you please repeat?
Observation, not polite, not formal.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the sort of thing like you do between friends. Like you wouldn't go, well, most people wouldn't go calling someone high and mighty nickname, but like if it's just between friends, if you're just chatting, then yeah, nickname.
I'm very sorry, but I have to. I need a moment. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I can entertain myself. I think we can always. Charlie, you go off and do your thing, but I think like Charlie can go on a bit of a spiel here. Because like I've got my boyfriend, and he's like Vin or Vinny or Red. Sometimes Foxy if I feel like winding him up, and then you've got like Shorts Kid, who's also like Space Cadet, and you got Snailian as Bubblehead, you've got Legs, you got Hothead, you got Feathers, well, Head, Hot, and Feathers, same thing. Charlie will just continue going on this spiel as
my god. M1-A kind of just listens and growing like many names for one person.
No. These are all different people. I mean, do tend to have a whole list of names for different people, but no, it's like lots of different friends, so lots of different nicknames.
Lots of friends. And M1-A kind of looks at Charlie and says, Charlie redacted, Charlie friend? Friends have multiple functions.
Well, yeah. If you say we're friends, then yeah, we're friends. Cool with me.
And M1-A actually looks a little bit bashful at that. Because they don't typically, the people they run into, friend was a name that they've been told can mean many things. A function of many things.
Yeah, because like friends are good for many things. I think at this point Charlie's going to like take a step forward, and he can't put an arm around M1-A's shoulders because in like UFO form, M1-A doesn't have shoulders. He makes an attempt of it anyway and kind of goes like an arm around the little bubble dish in the middle and tries leading M1-A out of the alley.
M1-A kind of reflexively, unfortunately, ducks down and swoops back up, but kind of next to Charlie's shoulder.
Oh, all right, no touching. Like, what you doing scrounging around in the garbage anyway, though?
And they look at him and go, classified. It is not going well, but classified.
All right, well, with the pile of rubbish bins you had on top of you, yeah, I can kind of see that it's not going well. But, like, even if you can't tell me, do you need a hand with any of it?
M1-A considers this a little bit, and they kind of, at first they seem to be climbing up again, but they kind of sigh and they say, mission does not involve destroying garbage cans.
You go, sorry. Sorry, I keep interrupting because Charlie talks a lot. Please keep going.
No. I was doing very well. Yes. And I was getting close, and I I was performing everything correctly, and I cannot finish my mission yet. I do not know how.
So, sounds like you hit a bit of a dead end, huh?
M1-A kind of like frowns a bit at that and says, "No, no dead end. I will find the end."
All right. Can you tell me
But
what sort of end it is or where you might find it?
M1-A kind of looks down and says, I require, I wish to fix something.
Like
I
at this point,
cannot.
sorry, keep going.
Oh, no, please go. Please go.
I was gonna say, like Charlie's kind of just like looking at M1-A, and like before he was more cheerful and kind of like what the heck's going on. Now he's just looking at you, and he can see like he's a little bit sad, a little bit. You can see that he can tell you are very stuck, but
Yeah.
doesn't really know how to go helping here. So he's just standing there,
Yeah.
hands in his pockets, looking at you.
Yeah, M1-A. You can, Charlie, you can tell that M1-A looks quite sad. And they say, I will figure this out. I will figure this out myself, and I will do the mission, and everything will be fixed. Everything will be okay. And they look back at you, Charlie. And I'm gonna roll a perception check to see if they know something about Charlie.
Yeah. Especially after you just mentioned the whole, like, I will fix everything myself sort of thing.
Yeah. And let's see, what was their perception? Oh, that's not too bad. Oh my god.
Nat 20!
Holy cow.
This
M1-A.
This is the session of absolutely perfect perception checks, I guess.
Apparently. M1-A kind of picks up something about Charlie's movements, and they kind of reach over. They suddenly kind of resume their arms mode, and they kind of point at Charlie in a confused manner and say, "You are still like me."
Yeah. And Charlie rubs the back of his neck. You couldn't really see it before when we were still in, like, the dark alleyway, but now that you've stepped out, and with what M1-A was saying, you've got Charlie, like, shifting edgily from foot to foot, and between better lighting and that little bit of motion, it's pretty easy to see that there's still kind of a trail of pixels surrounding Charlie as he moves, just warping his line art just that little bit. It's not as bad as it was when you were kind of fresh out of Ludwig's lab, but it's still there.
Yeah. M1A's picking that up, and also picking up that Charlie doesn't seem to be in a great mood either.
Yeah. Again, he's good at acting pretty chipper, but...
Yeah. And M1-A kind of takes time to observe this and says, Charlie, friend, you are not fully functional?
Huh? I'm functioning just fine, mate. Don't worry. It's just a little bit tired, had a bit of trouble sleeping. Out here for a walk. It's all good.
Observation. You look sad.
Yeah, Charlie's just like, okay, yeah, you got me on that one, mate. I don't think he actually says it, but like the look that he gives you.
Yeah. Just like a deadpan. Yeah, really? Okay.
So he just kind of looks at you for a sec. You definitely see it. I'm not going to make you roll insight for it.
No.
But then, like, he springs back into motion, just like, yeah, maybe so, but there ain't anything we can do about that right now. So, tell you what do you need to help fix things? Even if you can't tell me what you need to fix it, no point you doing things alone.
M1-A just kind of they're a little confused at why Charlie isn't continuing talking about the issue, but they decide to leave it be because apparently they've moved on from that. And they look around the streets and they say, I am looking for hearts.
Hearts?
I am looking for, and they think for a bit, and they say, I am trying to locate parts of machines.
Oh, parts. All right. Well, I mean, we could probably find a machine or two around here if you wanted.
And when they actually perks up at that and say, where are the machines?
And I think nearby there's probably just like a reasonably normal looking car parked on the street nearby. And Charlie kind of just like hands in his pockets, whistling nonchalantly, looking around, comes over, kicks at its tires a bit, and just like, oh, there's one right here.
And M1-A kind of like darts over to it, and they kind of stare at it a moment. This is observation. This is usually moving and roaring.
Yeah, that's what happens when people are driving around in them.
They look at the kind of they look at like the finish, the mirrors. They kind of look at the little radio antennae, and they poke at that. And then they go, I need it.
All right, then. Let's get what you would need. I'm sure they won't, I'm going to do just a quick perception check here for a moment. That's a 19. Yeah, with that, Charlie's just gonna go, like, peering in through the windows, cupping his hands around his eyes as he does so, to just do, like, a quick look at the car. And he notices there's, like, a little teddy bear hanging from the wing mirror, and...
oh my god.
Like, there's, like, teddy bear, there's, like, a family photo stuck to the dash, and he's kind of looking around, it's just, like, baby seat at the back, is like, all right, not this one, though. Walks down the road to the next car, does the whole peering in thing again, and it's just like, okay, no, right, this one's not obviously the car owned by a family or something.
Yeah. And when a kind of, oh, sorry, you go.
I was just like, you know what? This one will be even better, I promise you.
And when a looks back and forth between the car with the teddy in it and the other car, and zips on over to Charlie to look inside, and they I'm gonna roll to see if they notice the cute stuff inside.
Yeah, like if you notice the difference between them.
Yeah. Rinse perception.
18.
Oh, they absolutely notice.
Yeah. Do they put it together, though? Because, like, noticing and understanding are different things.
Yeah. They kind of go, there are less things inside.
Oh, yeah, because this one seems to be owned by an asshole, and Charlie just kind of gestures towards vanity license plate.
M1-A kind of looks at Charlie and says, "Query," and they try and say the word asshole, but instead asterisks pop up in a speech bubble.
Like bleep hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's basically someone who isn't really nice, bit full of himself, a bit of a mean person, but like not always bad, but you kind of maybe want something mildly bad to happen to them just because they're being a bit of a git.
And M1-A nods with like a very intense expression and say, like a CEO.
Exactly. Yeah, you got the right idea.
They have encountered one CEO.
Okay, you already have a perfect understanding of the sort of thing that Charlie's talking about. Like, so like, yeah, exactly. CEOs generally assholes. This car owned by an asshole. A car over there is like, it's probably a decent guy, definitely a family with a baby. So like, you don't want to go ruining people's lives who don't deserve it. This guy though, he's fair game.
And M1-A kind of looks between the cars, and they say, I need to find machine parts for my mission, but... And they point to the CEO car. I need that more than the beep needs it.
Exactly, and because you need it more, it's only fair for you to take it off him, because you're going to make better use of it than this guy spinning around and, like, making a fool of himself. So, things go to where they're meant to be more useful.
Amazing.
Charlie's got to, like, and what would I even roll to fucking hijack a car? I think probably thieves' tools?
Thieves' tools. Hang on a second. Do I have thieves' tools? Surely I do, but like, I do.
You do. Perfect.
I do. I don't think M1-A knows that they're thieves' tools. For flavor, M1-A has these little tiny alien doohickeys that they've had in their inventory. I'm gonna roll hammer space to get them out.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, okay. They pull them out and they look at the car handle, and they're gonna see if they can they might at first start like poking at it with their tools to see if they can, because they've seen a door before, and they've seen these things open like this, so they're going to try. They're going to try. And what do I roll to get a thieves' tools?
It would literally just be a d20 plus your proficiency.
Okay, d20 plus.
I think it's actually maybe plus dex plus proficiency, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. Efficiency, thieves' tools. Oh, that's a +4. Okay. They think hard about what people did. They usually kind of shoved this little silver object into the slot and twisted it, and that would open it up. They shove basically like two or three little sparkly metal rods into the slot and twist it, and nothing really happens. In fact, they kind of get them jammed in there, and they start trying to pull them out, and they manage after a while, but they kind of like go flying back a ways from the force.
Oh no. Yeah, so I think Charles got to watch this and go like, I mean, you got the right idea, mate, but the thing is, without the key hold's not going to be much use. Carjacking is always more my buddy's thing than mine, but what you actually have to do is you gotta kind of go down in between like the seal of the window or the door. And I think Charlie does not actually have...
Unfortunately, sorry, I think you cut out.
Peck. Alright, so can you hear me properly now?
I can hear you now, sorry.
Okay, it's okay, I can just read it. So Charlie doesn't actually have proficiency in thieves' tools himself. However, he is hung out with enough thieves that he knows at least a little bit about it. So I reckon he's just gonna go like, so your problem is, if you don't got the key, going in through the keyhole isn't going to get you anywhere. You got the right gear for it though. But if you can like get one of those little sparkly things down through the seal of the window, like about a little bit to the left, you're there.
Where? Up there?
Yeah, you're right there. So you got to go in there and you got to hook it kind of under something, and then you pull up, and that should get you the lock.
And M1-A is going. Focusing. Should I roll dexterity or something?
No, I was going to say just roll thieves' tools again, and this kind of works as you have advantage because Charlie's aiding you.
Yeah. D20 plus
22!
Oh, hey!
There we go.
Works. Thank you, Charlie. M1-A kind of like turns around to face Charlie with like just really bright, shining eyes, like, mission achieved.
Yeah, exactly.
Objective achieved.
Great job, Frisbee. Great job. And Charlie, like, he wants to pat you on the back, but he stops because you have dodged every single attempt of his to touch you so far. So I think he's just got hands in the air, like, victory, yes.
M1-A will reach their hands in the air as well.
That's so good. Time to like open the door and climb inside, I guess.
Yeah. M1-A is going to tug open the handle, and they're going to drift inside, and they're going to look at the steering wheel.
I think this is Charlie's probably going to look at you, see you a bit confused, and like, all right, shove over, I'll give you a driving lesson in a sec, and just kind of like climbs in directly after you, expecting you to hover across back to the other side.
M1-A kind of, they're looking around at these controls.
If you want to stop him, go ahead.
well, first. These controls don't look... They remind them of something, but they can't quite put it together. So they drift aside to let Charlie at the controls.
All right. Charlie's not a good driver. He's more used to walking everywhere. But like, but at the same time, it's like, it's like, oh, can I borrow one of those sparky things for one moment? Jam it into there, and we should be good to go. And he just points to the keyhole on the side.
M1-A is going to oblige and go, and they go, do just like before?
Just like before.
And they, let's see, should I roll Thieves' Tools again? Or
I reckon roll Thieves' Tools again, but I wouldn't say this is going to be a very high one because you just got to start the car rather than getting inside it this time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think once they hear the car starting up, they flinch back, and because that's a nat 1, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Maybe did you accidentally fry the car?
Oh my god. That might have happened actually. They jam in the little spark rod, and the car shorts out and like starts up and then shorts out, and they go flying to the back seat.
Oh no!
And I think, do you think M1-A would take damage?
It might be, and I maybe just like fucking D3 lightning damage. Would you say?
Yeah. 1d3.
Holy!
Yeah, they take 2 damage.
Charlie leaning back, watching M1-A go back, like, "Holy ain't kid, you all right there?"
M1-A is like upside down, plastered against the back seat, and they slowly slide down with like stars in a ring above their head.
Oh no.
And they say, "The machine is angry."
Yeah, I don't think it appreciated that very much. A bit too over-enthusiastic there.
The machine is angry, and is it? And they shake their head a little bit, and I'm gonna roll a d2. 1 sec. Okay, so they've been having a bit of a rough time lately. They've been a lot of stuff that they've been trying to do has either been stonewalled, or they've been having trouble making it happen, and they keep running into weird laws and weird like rules. Like the machines, a lot of the machines here aren't alive. They don't talk to you. Everyone has multiple functions, and they're only built for one, and it's all coming crashing down. So they kind of they shoot back up into the air, and they go, "You will work! You will work!" And they zoom back to the ignition key.
That's the attitude, kid. Come on, we can do this. Take 2.
They're gonna try and roll again.
I'm gonna be honest, Charlie legitimately thought for a second there that M1-A was gonna like burst into tears or something.
No.
Okay. At least it's higher than a 1.
Yeah, I don't think M1-A gets flung back and damaged this time, but I think they do get flung back, but they make another sound, like sound of it. Frustration, and they're gonna go at it again. One more time.
All right. If this doesn't work, we'll take it like the old-fashioned route, all right? But you can do this. A 10.
That's a 10.
Oh. I did say before I didn't think this would be very high, but like a 10 is technically slightly below average when you're rolling a d20. So like
yeah. It's even with the additional proficiency score too.
I was gonna say, I reckon probably what happens here is you get a moment where again you can hear the engine turning over, you can hear the sort of thing, and then it just dies.
Oh. I think M1-A just kind of goes, asterisks!
Yeah, same here, kid. Alright. Like I said, though, we've still got the backup route. Even if your fancy doodads can't quite replicate the keys, we've always got the whole old-fashioned way to hotwire this thing. So, never hurts to have a bit of help, like I said before. And Charlie's actually going to pop the bonnet of the car and then hop out and go around front to near the engine. And I'm just gonna roll a straight d20 here to see how well this goes.
Yeah.
That's a 16.
Oh my god. That's a 16.
Thank you, Lady Luck.
Thank you, Lalu.
With that, M1-A can't see anything because the bonnet's in the way, but you hear like a little bit of metal grating, you see some sparks flying for a moment, and then the engine fires and the car is on.
Charlie, whenever you slam the bonnet down, you see like these wide eyes staring back at you from inside, like, how did you do that? Like absolute awe. Like,
Great thing about being an Inquo, basically everyone is good at a lot of different things.
And M1-A is going to take that to heart.
Always good to have.
You know that.
Yeah, please do. It's like always good to have a range of skills. And Charlie kind of like shoves the sleeves back down for where he rolled them up to go digging about in the engine, climbs back into the car, closes the door. And I guess it's time to go on a fucking joyride in this fancy car.
Yeah. M1-A is kind of they're zipping around a little bit, like they're kind of dropping all decorum. They look very excited. This is working. Like, this is working.
This is working.
And they are looking at all the buttons in front of them as well. And I think they're going to try and look, and first they're going to turn to Charlie and say, It can move now. It can move now, yes?
Well, you decide that for yourself, and Charlie slams down on the accelerator.
And M1-A, I think, is just going to go slamming back to, like, the headrest of the car.
Charlie doing the terrible thing of taking hands off the steering wheel for a moment as the car veers all over the road. Like, oh, wait, kid, you gotta, like, come on, Frisbee, you gotta remember your seatbelt, and just leans over to put it across M1-A.
I think, okay, let's picture this. M1-A is, frankly, quite small for a seatbelt, so I think what's going to happen is M1-A is still going to be in arms mode, so they have body and arms, but I think Charlie's just going to, I think only, I think the across strap is going to keep them locked in place.
Yeah, so like you've got the across strap just like barely covering the bottom half of M1-A's body.
Yeah, basically.
Arms going free, and otherwise the seatbelt's just plastered directly across the seat because there's nothing really to hold.
Yeah, basically. And
through sheer luck, and also that fact that it's 2 a.m. and no one's out on the streets is probably the reason they don't go crashing into anything, other than,
that's probably it.
A few lampposts and a fire hydrant or two.
Yeah. And M1-A is like getting shaken around a bit, and actually I'm gonna let's
quick
roll.
con save.
Yeah, let's roll con. Oh, they have a -1 to con. Cool.
Oh, that's not good. 14's
that's not too bad, actually.
Yeah.
They're getting jostled pretty badly, but they're actually finding this like really fun. Like, they're usually they're in a ship within a ship, basically. They're usually in their regular ship and they zip around like that. But they've never been out of control of that before. Yeah. They've just been, so they're just like they're just riding along, and they're actually, they're a little scared, and they're a little bit like jolting around, but they start making, oh, what's it called? They start making like loud beeps, basically.
That's like, I think Charlie's gonna be like happily yelling along with you here, because you know what? He hasn't stolen a car in years. This is great.
Do you think they turned the radio on?
Yeah, I think like after a couple of seconds, Charlie's gonna like wind down all the windows so you've got air like rushing in. It can like stick one arm half out the window, turn on the radio, veering all over the place because he does not have vehicle proficiency.
Oh my god. The only person in this car who has vehicle proficiency is the one too small to
actually M1-A can't drive because they don't have feet to push the pedals.
They don't have feet to push the pedals. And they actually like turn to the radio and they say, Charlie friend, what is this?
It's called a radio. Frisbee plays music when you want it to.
Music.
got some classic rock and roll going in the background.
Yeah, and they love it. They're kind of going to reach their arms float anyway, so it looks a bit weird, but one of their arms almost seems like it's detaching from the rest of them, and reaches to press a button near the radio. And it can, I don't know which button it is, but
no, I was going to say, we switch from the wonderful guitar solo in a DC/AC song to like a wonderful piece of classical music with strings going and there's a piano in there, and like just kind of you're zooming along, veering all over the piece, and you've got something rather akin to Beethoven playing.
Oh, hang on. Wrong kind of roll. M1-A quite likes it, actually. They're getting into it. Like they don't know what it is, but they quite like it. And they're going to press the button again.
I was thinking it was going to be like one of those channel searches, so then it skips forward to the next one. And now we've just got some rather mind-numbing pop music, the sort of one that's like maybe about 3 lines of actual lyrics on repeat.
Yeah. M1-A isn't. They like it. They like the rhythm. Like wow, that's some cool rhythm. It reminds them a little of home. But they get a little bit bored.
Yeah, I think this time Charlie leans over and presses the button again, and we wind up with some fucking dubstep, which...
Oh, hell yeah.
Not Charlie's favourite, but he can get behind, and you know what? It suits them as they go woof right through a red light and narrowly avoid a car crash.
Oh my god. I have a question.
Yeah?
Even if it is 2 a.m., and even if it is, like, pretty empty out in the streets...
Yeah.
Do you think anyone would notice?
I do, considering they just ran a red light. Yeah. I reckon we're gonna wind up with some cops, like some red and blue flashing lights appearing in the rearview mirror there in a second.
Yeah. M1-A turns to look over and they say, "Charlie friend, more music."
Charlie quickly checks the mirror and now see here for us, the thing is, it's not music, those are sirens, and they're caused by people called pigs, and we don't want to get caught by them because they're the bad guys. So Charlie speeds up even more.
M1-A looks and says, "Query, what is a pig?"
Oh, they're like these little animals that walk around a little bit, like pink, have hooves, they go all the time. I was like, the other thing is like, they're police, they're meant to keep the law, and like, nah. Mostly just cause more havoc, if anything else.
And M1-A actually... I don't think Charlie can... Actually, Charlie, roll a quick insight.
Yeah. Charlie I'm gonna roll it with disadvantage because...
Yeah, roll with disadvantage because you are fleeing the cops right now.
That's still a 13.
That's not bad. That's not bad, honestly. You see a change in M1-A's mood. And they look back, and you can't really read what they're feeling or anything like that, but they look back and say, "They are sentries?"
Yeah, I suppose you could call them that. They tend to stand around and do not much, that's for sure.
Oh,
Charlie does not like the cops.
Yeah. M1-A is going to look forward and say, "They stand around and do not do much." But yeah, they will actually, I'm gonna roll D2.
I love that people just like flip a fucking coin when it could go either way.
And they kind of, their fists clench and they go, how do we make them go away?
Exactly. Like, you're on the right road, kid. All right, Frisbee. You got anything that's gonna work good? Anything that's gonna work good as a distraction?
Oh, that's a good question. Don't
have many spells I can do with both hands on the wheel, you know.
M1-A doesn't have any spells, but one thing they could do. And
What?
oh god. They are going to take out their blaster.
We're gonna shoot at the fucking corpse. Okay, yes.
And they are going to say, leave us alone. We did nothing wrong. And shoot. And I think, let's see, what's the one? Whoops.
Got the exclamation mark. God, what fucking armor class would a cop car have?
Probably. Oh,
I would say a 16 hits. I would say a 16. You've at least blown out one of the tires.
Yeah. They get one of the tires. That's basically, they just want this. They're not looking to kill the cops. They're mostly just wanting them to stop.
Yeah, you hear this massive bang as the tire blows and the police go and crash into a lamppost. Everything's fine. No damage is done because everyone was wearing their seatbelts as they should.
Yes, exactly.
However, the cops are definitely not going to be able to chase M1-A's Charlie as you continue zooming down the road. Charlie letting out a whoop as you go and just cackling with laughter because this is the best way to spend a night.
Yeah.
Like, I think even like take one hand off the wheel, hold it up for a high five because, like, yeah, teamwork.
M1-A kind of, they look at Charlie a little confused, and then they look at their hand, their free hand, and they raise it and they swat it.
Yes, high five. That's so good.
Yeah.
All right, I will admit Charlie has no idea where to go, but considering how fast you're going, I think you're probably going to wind up on the edge of town soon enough. Yeah. Unless you have any ideas of where the fuck we should go.
I think edge of town sounds good.
Edge of town. All right.
Like near some out of town detritus.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, all the skyscrapers make way for a couple of factories and you wind up in an industrial area, and then it makes way even more to kind of more like where the general rubbish tips and everything are. There's a couple of like big blank spots of land that are just filled with odds and ends that people have dumped there, and eventually you kind of slow to a halt because no one's going to be chasing you out here, and maybe the car's out of petrol.
Yeah, the car's probably out of petrol now.
Well,
oh my god.
Good at places to dump this junk heap as anything else. Sure was a fun one, though.
M1-A is kind of like a little high on the like the car ride, on all of the events, and they said what do they say? We got away. We got away from the bad guys.
Yeah. You did great. Good on you, Frisbee. That was a real good shot.
And they preen a little bit. They're proud of that shot because they're quite proud of their blaster. And they say, It has helped me through many things. And then they kind of pause and they say, it has helped me through 3 things.
3's close enough to many as anything else. I think
yes.
Charlie's gonna climb out through the open window, not bothering to open the door, and just like climb up onto the roof of the car and starfish on the top and just looking up at the stars, because he needs a chance to fucking breathe after that.
Yeah. And M1-A goes up and joins him, and also looks up at the stars. And they kind of grip their blaster to them a little bit. Charlie, friend.
Yeah?
Oh, uh-oh. Hello?
Oh, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Charlie, friend.
Yeah, kid? Inky,
What do you think? What do you think of the stars?
They're pretty. There's a lot of little dots. Don't know what's up there. Don't really think I'd ever find out, because there's just a lot of it. But also, considering, like, there's you, and we've got the two kids from Space back in the studio, and, like, there's obviously something up there, because where else would you guys come from?
M1-A kind of, they slowly nod, and they say, I am M1-A Sentry class.
And you could just see, like, this moment of Charlie, like, because Charlie was kind of, like, he had his eyes closed for just a second there as he's catching his breath, and then, like, oh, wait, fuck, Sentry. His eyes just snap right open.
Yeah. and they say, and sentries are said to keep everything aligned. Keep everything in line. But we do stand around doing nothing. And they look up at the stars and say, I used to be very afraid of the stars.
How so?
I stood guard and watched them for any that would move. But every time I come, every night I've seen them here, they just remind me of home and my post.
Wait a sec. Back up a moment. You mean your entire job was just to stand there and stare off into space? For hours?
M1-A kind of, they look down and they say, mostly. Affirmative, yes, mostly. But I have a main function, and it is. They kind of look a bit distant and say, I'm not very good at it.
Well,
I'm Sentry. I keep the people in line. I keep the sparks aligned. I keep the gears in line. And I'm not very good at it.
You know, like, M1, that's probably a good thing, to be honest. Because usually, the more you try and keep people in line, the more people are gonna want to go breaking out of it. So you end up with people like me.
And they look at you, Charlie, and they say, what if it is all I know how to do? What if it is all I am good at?
Well, that's not true, because you've proved today you're not half bad at stealing a car.
And then when he looks down at the car, and they seem to sigh, and they put their blaster back into their hammer space. And they go, I am trying to complete my mission here. And I want to do it well, but if anything happens to me, if I am taken by the sentries here, if I am harmed by anything else, then there will be nobody else. There will be nobody else to complete my mission.
Well,
so
if you want, I could do it for you if you want.
And they look over at Charlie, and they make an insight, Charlie.
A lot of these. That's a 21?
Oh, wow. That's a 21. You can tell how reluctant they are to do that.
Yeah, I think Charlie's just going like, yeah, no, it's classified and everything. Forget it. It's fine.
It is classified, and I'm the only one who can do it.
All right. Well, if you can tell me this, what happens if you don't complete the mission?
And M1-A looks kind of terrified, actually. I'm gonna let you keep that observation. They actually look terrified. Then they will be all alone.
They?
And when they shake their head and they say, they will be all alone, and they will have no one, and they will not sing anymore.
You're breaking my heart here, Inky!
I'm here.
Yeah. No, I'm still here. I'm just like, you're breaking my heart. And I'm just like, okay, how the fuck do I respond to that? Okay. Yeah, I think Charlie's gonna kind of half sit up, propped up on his elbows, still leaning back, but look over at M1-A and just like, alright, well, even if you can't tell me what the mission is, and if you're the only one that can, like, what means you're the only one that can do it?
And they kind of look and they say, it has to be me. It's the only thing I can do. It's the only thing I can do well.
Yeah, but, like, other people could do it as well, right?
They could do better.
So why not ask for help?
I cannot call in a replacement now.
Says who? No harm in, like, asking a friend to, like, lend your hand, really.
You do not understand.
I would just say, Charlie absolutely understands the irony in what he is saying. He's not going to bring that up, though.
No, I understand. You do not understand. If I send a distress signal, and if I send a distress signal, I will be replaced. It will not be me. It has to be me.
So you're saying that, like, if you go asking for help, they're not just going to give you help, they're just going to send someone else to come do it?
It has to be me.
Ugh, pretty shitty way to run things in my opinion.
And M1-A kind of winces at that and they say, it is my home, and everything here has been so different. Everything here has been so different, and I feel like I am the only thing wrong with it now.
What? No. First, M1-A, look, there's nothing wrong with you. You just don't understand things, but promise you, there's been people who live here their whole lives and they don't understand what goes on either. Nothing wrong with just not really knowing stuff.
M1-A kind of,
Oh.
They take a deep breath and they come out of their arms mode into their UFO mode and they just kind of settle down and their antennae droop back and they go quiet.
I think like Charlie's gonna see this and I think he's gonna keep rambling just because it looks like M1-A needs a little bit of cheering up. I was like, look, take me for example. Certified dunce, had the pointy cone hat in school and everything. Like I flunked out first opportunity I got. I was like, I'm not a smart guy. You could ask me to point out Tezza Canada, like on a map and I would not be able to tell you where. But fact is, just because I'm bad at that, it doesn't mean I'm not good at other things.
They quietly look up at you and they say, why did you have a pointy hat?
Alright, one of the things you don't know. If you act really, really dumb in school, the teacher makes you sit in a corner with a pointy hat that says dumb to make you know that you're acting really, really dumb.
And when I kind of thinks about that for a moment, and they say, observation. That sounds inefficient.
Agreed.
And they just kind of they actually kind of they levitate up. You hear the little whoop 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 whoop, and Charlie, you kind of hear them go up over your head, and then they kind of plonk down.
Wait, am I now wearing M1-A as a hat?
Yes.
Yes! Alright, Charlie is a little bit surprised at this and carefully does not move. But also, he doesn't mind.
Yeah.
Having fun up there?
Are there small hats as well?
Well, I mean, we could make you one if you wanted, but they're generally not very fun to wear.
M1-A kind of, they think about it. And, they go, and I will be a hat.
And an excellent hat you make.
Now.
Excellent hat you make.
I have a secondary function. It is hat.
I think Charlie's just kind of got to lean forward a little bit and like trying not to laugh too hard at that. Like, right, there you go. Like I said, like you're not just good at one thing. You're good at least two things, or three things now, including the car. So like, and you're picking up new things. You can learn new stuff. Means you can learn more about this place and maybe learn enough to finish off your mission.
And when they kind of, they take a breath. And they look up and they say, they will be disappointed.
Disappointed? Why?
I am not what they hope I would be, or what I said I would be.
That's okay. Pretty hard to live up to expectations a lot of the time. What matters is you do what's right.
And they kind of lift off Charlie's head and they look back at him and say, "What if you're not sure what that is anymore?"
Yeah, that's where it gets difficult, I guess. General rule I tend to try and live by is, like, don't do bad things to people that don't deserve it, and try and give good to people that do.
And M1-A is going to kind of look down and they say, "They did not deserve it." And they look a little bit angry and they go, "I need to return to my mission."
All right. You go.
I do not want to. I may not be good at this, but I do not want to fail.
Fair enough, Frisbee. Again, like, if you got a goal, may as well go towards it, especially if you think it is the right thing to do.
And they nod slowly and they look down at the car without any petrol left. And they look up at Charlie again and say, "I cannot bring this back."
Well, I mean, I think Charlie's probably gonna, like, slide down and pop open the bonnet again. Any bits and pieces in here you reckon would be handy?
M1-A kind of, like, they dart around, and I think they just kind of dig through a little bit. They pull out, like, a spring, a rubber chicken, a cat that looks like a cat that looks very fluffed up and scared.
No wonder this car was driving so badly.
They look at the cat, back at you, Charlie, and then just kind of put the cat aside. And then they emerge with, I think they emerge with, like, another a little coil, and it's kind of shiny. Actually, it's surprisingly shiny. It's kind of bronze colored, and they kind of look at this and they go, "I will take this."
All right. Fairly sure the guy that owns this car won't mind. I'll even find it out here. So again, like, you're giving people that'll need the, like, if you need the thing more than that guy needed it, may as well take it.
And M1-A kind of slowly nods. And they look at Charlie and they say, "Larry, are you still sad?"
Well, I will say tonight was a lot of fun, but I got a pretty long walk home too. It's been acting pretty dumb about a lot of things, but you know what I think was the biggest? I'd miss shit like this. So maybe acting dumb isn't the greatest idea, because don't want to really go missing any more small things. So, yeah, this question, like, still sad, but still thinking on it.
M1-A nods and says, "You should not miss small things.
Can I get a quick...
I
was going to say,
Oh,
can you roll
sorry?
perception, please?
Oh, of course. B plus. Oh,
12.
do they notice?
It's just not high enough, sorry.
Oh, actually, hang on. Can I justify this? I could. They actually have an item on them that they're... Can I say that they're wearing it?
I mean, you could... depends what it is, I guess.
It's goggles.
Yeah, I would say you could have had your goggles on the whole time.
Yeah, it's gonna make it hard to draw though.
Sorry.
No. It allows.
I know. You could have pulled the goggles on when you were scrounging about in the car looking for the spring coil thing.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's how we're doing it.
Yep.
Okay. Advantage. Oh!
11.
Dang
No.
it.
I'm sorry.
Well, would you like to describe maybe what M1-A might have missed?
For the sake of the viewers, the pixelation that Charlie's dealing with is just a little bit less. Again, it's still there, but the pixels have kind of gotten a little bit smaller. They don't seem to be as rough at the edges of like Charlie's outline and everything anymore. But M1-A doesn't see this, sadly.
M1-A does not see this, no. They're going to nod and say, "You have a mission, Charlie."
Yeah, I gotta protect people too, but pretty hard to protect people when you're going off and doing stupid things, yeah?
And M1-A nods slowly, and they say, "Remain functional. People will need you functional. So do not be sad for too long." And they are going to dart away.
And I think as M1-A kind of flies off, Charlie's just gonna stand there for a moment and then just... Yeah, I'm trying my best. And he's gonna climb back up on top of the roof of the car and stare up into the stars for a while longer until the sun finally rises and M1-A can go make use of that coil, I guess.
Yeah. I have one more little scene.
Please.
M1-A travels a good ways, all the way back to the outskirts of Waddleton, to a familiar looking shack, only familiar if you've stuck around at the end of Splice to Beat You. They're going to go inside into the dark, and they're going to report. "I encountered Charlie Redacted again today. We talked about pigs. There are more music types. I think you would like them. And I took a car. We needed it more. And I have not heard from you for three days. And is it because I am failing? Please respond. Please respond. I will do better. Please respond. And M1-A doesn't hear anything. And M1-A hovers there expectantly throughout the night until the sun slowly rises.
Ow!
And I think that is where, unfortunately, we are going to end it.
Yeah, ow, my heart. I desperately need someone to give M1-A a hug already, please.
Yeah. It's okay. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. But they are going to need help.
Yeah, again, they've got friends. They have multiple friends now, yeah?
They do. They just haven't quite pieced together that you can use friends as assistants in that regard.
They'll get there eventually.
They're going to get there, and sometime soon, actually. But yes. Alrighty.
That was so good.
That was such a fun FPS. I apologize for the nosedive of angst that it took.
No, that's okay. We knew from the beginning that this was likely going to be an angsty one.
Yeah. Gosh, thank you all so much for listening, listeners present and future. Thank you so much, Kai.
Thank you so much, Inky, for actually organizing and sorting this all out, because this was really fucking good.
It was
so good.
It was so good. And hopefully these guys can meet again under nicer circumstances, but M1-A is going to remember this night for a long time.
Maybe M1-A now knows how to properly steal a car, so
yeah, exactly.
We can go and steal more in the future. Wow. Maybe something bigger than a car. Let's steal a boat. Yes.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Anyway, that's plans for another day, but absolutely a possibility.
Anyway, for now, let's stop the recording. You want to say bye?
Yes. Yeah. Take care, everyone.
Bye.